Hello friends, the Lego Movie 2 is in theaters and
Everything
No, it's not. No, I survived it 5 years ago. We're not doing it again. Everyone stop, okay? Like its 2014 predecessor, the Lego Movie 2 is getting glowing reviews from critics and fans, which is great. But it does make us wonder, why is the Lego Movie one of the few toy-based movies that work? This week on Heat Vision Breakdown, we look at the magic behind good toy movies and why so many of them don't quite work or get stuck in development hell. Ah, Hollywood, a place where everything and anything can be exploited for commercial gain, be it a Disneyland ride, a mobile game, or even poop emojis. We're number 2. Childhood toys have become a hot commodity ripe for, I don't know, adaptation? What's the word? Do you adapt a toy to the big screen? Whatever you call it, popular playthings like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Legos, Hot Wheels, and even Barbie are the latest IP receiving renewed interest from studios in the hopes of spawning franchises and cinematic universes. As our very own Boris Kitt reported in January, Sony has spent years and $15 million developing a Masters of the Universe movie that has still yet to materialize. Things got so bad that Mattel almost took the rights away entirely. New writers were hired to appease the toy gods, however, so He-Man could still be on his way to the big screen. There is a sense that many of these properties are being overthought and moving away from their original appeal. Most of the stories that children came up with while playing with action figures, dolls, or Legos are better than what we see in most of the television series and movies based on them. Too often, these projects are approached by studios with strict rules and level of realism, missing the fact that the audience most of these films are geared towards play without rules. If I want Optimus Prime to drive the Batmobile into Castle Grayskull, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what makes Phil Lord and Chris Miller's The Lego Movie so special. Awesome, even.
Everything is
No. It's a film that captures childhood imagination by taking a comprehensive look at toys as both brands and possibilities for storytelling. It's a film from the perspective of a kid, one that has a smorgasbord of references and characters that directly correlates to how a kid would approach playing with Legos. In a word, it's fun. But Legos themselves, as toys that encourage literal world building, invite this kind of movie making. What about our more structured toy properties? Not every toy-based movie can work on the same principle as Legos. The best way to elevate a toy is to explore a scenario that encourages play. That can't be accomplished by attempting to ground or over-explain with logic or rules. Gross. The majority of studios who have gotten into the toy game have approached these properties through a very limited window and asked, what are these toys, instead of what can these toys be? Those two different approaches are what stands between Michael Bay's Transformers and Travis Knight's Bumblebee. Bay's films work under the principle that cars transform. They have various weapons and they're divided between good and evil. That approach has certainly yielded some exciting set pieces, but also gave us lackluster stories that got caught up in increasingly muddled mythology that tried to over-explain answers to questions that never really needed asking in the first place. Wow, that's where Sam Witwicky's great-great-grandpa's glasses came from? Neat. On the other hand, Bumblebee's screenwriter Christina Hodson approached the material by considering the link between childhood toys and adult toys, cars, and finding the connection between them through a coming-of-age story. And look, we can bash on Bay's Transformer films all we want, but the truth is, at least his films were successful in launching a franchise. How many franchises have you launched? 2012's Battleship, based on a board game that teaches children about naval combat and how to cheat their siblings out of victory, has all but been forgotten. That film tried to emulate Bay's style of flashy action sequences, but with a runtime of over 2 hours and a plot that introduced aliens and barely referenced the game, fans mostly didn't care. Rihanna was in it though. Movies based on board games can work too. Way back in 1985, Hasbro's Clue was brought to life in a zany, over-the-top comedy with a stellar cast. What the film understood, much like Lord and Miller have done with the Lego franchise, is what the game made us feel and the fun of the experience of playing it. In a sense, the film captured the essence of the toy it was based on. In certain ways, it may seem like comedic, self-aware takes on these properties is the way to go, but that's an oversimplification. Bumblebee found a way to inject genuine pathos into a film about a Volkswagen who turns into a robot. So there's no rule written in stone that says a G.I. Joe film or He-Man series couldn't do the same, but the key is to remember what makes those brands so popular in the first place. The Lego Movie and Bumblebee should serve as the cinematic blueprints going forward for those toys that encourage unlimited possibilities and those with set backstories that can still be treated as something more than hunks of plastic. Toys are fun. That's their purpose. So films based on them would do well to remember that. More exploration and inventive playfulness and less Mark Wahlberg arguing over the age of consent with a guy dating his daughter in a film about robot cars fighting other robot cars. Why was that in that movie?
What?
Texas statute?
So what do you guys think? What other films have really brought your toys to life on the big screen? Let us know in the comments right down there. Don't forget to subscribe and join us here every Friday morning for new episodes of Heat Vision Breakdown. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play with the Millennium Falcon.